Hey, what's up everyone, Morey Croson here, and today we're going to be going over some of the common mistakes we see when it comes to loading that back leg, and we're going to start the video right now. This is the newest edition of the Performance Lab.
Reach your individual goals. You don't want to just talk about straight line speed. We also want to talk about your ability to be quick. We break down your video. Let's make you into the quarterback I know you can become.
All right, so we're getting deep into this Throw 60 program, and one of the main things we're seeing is a lot of issues with loading that back leg. So as a right-handed quarterback, I'm going to be loading that right back leg in order to be able to throw with more distance going forward. And so I just want to go over some of the things that we're seeing here that are common, and I think that could really help you in being able to really generate more force from that back leg. So, one of the main things that we want to be able to see and understand is that when you're loading, we want to see ankle flexion, right? The ability to bend in that ankle. We want to see knee flexion, the ability to bend in the knee. And then we also want to see hip flexion, the ability to bend in the hip, right? So we want to be able to kind of sit back into that throw, right? So when we're starting out here, what I'll see is a lot of people go and they immediately kind of shift their weight forward, right? They don't really get any type of load into that back leg. And it's important, especially when you're trying to throw the ball deep. So we're going in or maybe hitch or whatever, and we get that front shoulder to come up, that lower shoulder to come down. We really want to be able to load into that leg, right? So you can see good ankle flexion, good knee flexion, good hip flexion. This is big parts that we do within like the training to be able to prep you to be able to throw the ball further. We want to be able to work good ranges within those three areas to make sure that you're able to understand how to be able to implement that when it comes to, improving your overall throwing distance and really throwing velocity as well. So that's one of the main things. I'll go from this side as well, so you could just kind of see, loading and kind of sitting into that back leg, and how that should look, right? So you want to be able to, everyone's going to be different, but you do want to have some degree of flexion here. You don't want to be just transferring your weight forward or only like, sitting back. You want to have some ankle flexion, some knee flexion, and some hip flexions, especially when it comes to throwing the ball, further and increasing your ability to add more distance into your throw. Another thing that I see is just improper placement of the weight, right? So when you're throwing here, we really want to make sure we have a lot of the weight on like the ball of the foot, the inside part of the foot. You don't have a lot of time to be able to really load into that back leg, right? So even though we're going to be putting a lot of pressure here, we don't have time to get all of our weight like onto our heels or the back part of our leg. All of our weight should be really on like the inside kind of ball of the foot there. We don't necessarily need to have that heel down in the ground too. You could have that heel a little bit upwards to help you in being able to push off, that back leg, right? So I'm here, I have a good amount of weight in the ball of my foot, and now I'm going to be able to really push my weight forward here, and I'm using that to create this step. I really want to make sure that this step is getting out in front of me here. I don't want to end up being, too close with this step. That gives me a good indication of how much I'm loading into my back leg. When I load into my back leg well, I'm able to really get a good solid push forward, off of there, and that helps me in getting that rotation and lateral shift moving forward within the throw. So that ends up being another big thing that we see when it comes to, being able to properly load that back leg, is making sure that we have the weight within the right part of that foot, more of that inside, kind of edge there. And then when we're pushing, we want to be landing, and again, we want to be rotating here, and we want to land with more of the weight like, maybe middle part of the foot, some people more on like the heel of the foot, and this is going to just end up making it so now we can keep some of that weight back. Another main thing, I've kind of alluded to it already, that we see is that people, if you're not loading that back leg well, you might just be shifting your weight too far forward, too soon. So immediately all your weight is like on your toe or on the front part of your foot, where really you should be going and pushing off here and really having more weight on like the middle part of your foot. So then as you come forward, you could then come forward and through and shift your weight onto the outside part of your foot and also onto like your outside pinky there. So you can feel a lot of lack of range of motion within like your feet when you're trying to shift your weight forward. And if you have an inability to really push through, through that big toe or through like the really all your toes, you could have some limitation within that front part of your foot. Your forefoot is what it's called, which could be really inhibiting your ability to get all of your weight through as you're finishing the throw, right? And when that happens, it can impact how you're able to, load the back leg. I always talk about how important it is for, the load and then the finish. And so if you're not able to finish properly, that will really impact how well you're able to, load through that back leg. So really put an emphasis on those first two things and how, you're able to shift your weight, create good knee bend, and then also make sure that you have that weight on the inside edge of, your back foot there, right? So it's really on like the big toe, again, ball of the foot area, and then you want to be able to push and rotate there, right? We don't want to end up, only pushing or only rotating, right? When you guys are there only rotating, they'll end up going and really opening up that foot and usually not taking too big of a step. And guys that end up only going this way will just not load in that back leg well. So there's a lot of great things that we could see that could help you in throwing the ball further just by looking to see how you're able to load that back leg. And this video will help you in being able to understand how to correct those and how to be able to improve those in a fairly fast amount of time. So, as always, thanks for watching. If you like the information, go and click that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, comments, or recommendations, you can leave those down below. This is a video we're going to use a ton within our Throw 60 program. If you're interested, if you've seen some of the other things that we've been talking about with the Throw 60 and you want to be able to improve your throwing distance, this is a great time to be able to do it. We're in the middle of March here, and it's really a great time to be able to really focus on improving your throwing mechanics, especially if you have something going on within your throw that you think can really improve, or if you're a bigger quarterback that really is not able to maximize their body to the best of their ability. This program is really going to be able to help you out, and I make these videos to really be able to help guys that are struggling to be able to understand just from a basic mechanic perspective, but also for people that are in the program that might need some individual coaching to be able to help them and being able to get that much further. But just know that if you're in the program, I'm always making these types of videos to help you guys out. So I don't know exactly what ends up being a main thing for you until I start seeing breakdowns and being able to see your throw. Then I could be able to help. And so, based off of that, then that's when I send over video and make it so we can get you on some drills and some exercises and things like that. But, really getting a good concept of what it is that we want to do within that Throw 60 program. So, understanding this part of it will then lead to getting exercises and drills and things that will help you in being able to, open up those parts of your body to then be able to actually see the improvement, within your throwing mechanics. So, as always, guys, thanks for watching. I know I'm always going pretty quick here, but I'm just passionate about, throwing mechanics and making it so I can help you guys out. So, hopefully you're able to stay with me. If not, you could always rewind it and watch it again. And if you have any questions, comments, or recommendations, like I said, check those out down below. And, if you want to check out that Throw 60 program, that link is in the description. So, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.